Welcome to the Brightstar Lifestyle Podcast, where we say yes to joy. Good day, Bright Stars. Today we are talking a second time. We are talking to Shanie Boshoff. Shanie is a Brightstar facilitator. She helps us with the product development, and she is a 5-star facilitator. Shanie's life purpose is to simplify beyond complexity that which holds us back from joy, contentment, and reaching our potential. Shanie is blessed with a caring husband who has always allowed her to fly with her dreams. And she has a 27-year-old son who is the inspiration of her heart. She also has 2 married bonus children with their families who fills her life. Shanie she was the CEO of the RCVV. It's a National Children's and Older Persons Protection Organization, and she did her PhD in 2015 in social work at the University of Stellenbosch. She focused on capacity building and organizational development of especially smaller community-based organizations. We are, I wanted to say we're excited to have you for this talk, but we're in expectation. I would rather use that word, Shanie, in expectation for having you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is really a privilege to be able to share something and hope and that this is a place of inspiration for others.
So precious. Shanie, in our previous podcast, we shared that you are a cancer survivor, a breast cancer survivor. And we touched on the fact that there's a lot of vulnerability that you experienced and that you started to bravely show, realizing that vulnerability is not a weakness. One of the things that happens with someone that receives chemotherapy, they lose their hair. Did you lose your hair, and what was the effect of that, and did it make you vulnerable? Will you share that with us, please?
Yeah, Amanda, that is one of the most vulnerable points in my life. And it was quite strange for me because I'm not very much inclined to, spend hours in front of the mirror to have a specific look. So I couldn't understand why the fact that I was going to lose my hair really created such a turmoil in my life. But I think for a lot of cancer patients, this is really the point where it becomes so obvious. You know, it's something you can't hide. And where you can put on masks, although it may be figuratively, this is the one place where everyone will know you have cancer, and that it's a part of bearing your soul to others without you necessarily wanting to do so. So yes, that was a very traumatic preparation to go into that part of the journey. But I think I took it head on, and that made quite a difference.
Oh, tell us about that, taking it head on. I know you as a very creative person, so please share with us how creativity was visible in you handling this challenge.
I love to be prepared for everything. So I always have a plan A, B, and C ready. Now, cancer don't always give you so many choices, but still you have some, there are some playground that you can move about creatively. So I prepared myself emotionally for losing my hair. So I don't know whether all of us are aware of that, but you know that the chemo that you get actively are there to destroy the cells, the cancer cells. And in that process, unfortunately, it also it also kills some of the normal cells. And hair grows in a follicle, and that is in the pores of the skin. So when you get the chemotherapy, the pores opens up and then the hair falls out. So in the beginning, you truly believe, well, you will be one of the small percentage of people that it doesn't happen to. And then it becomes apparent when, you know, you touch your hair and there's a little bit of hair on your hand, and it becomes, you know, you are starting to lose your hair. You can see it on your shoulders. Yeah, so that is the starting point of where it happens. So I just decided I'm not going to let me be overcome by fear in that regard. So one Friday evening, I asked my son and my husband to help me to cut my hair. I did the front part and they had to do the back part. It was a little bit traumatic for them in that sense, but I truly believe that we should do this whole journey together. And then there was a whole situation of going to buy wigs. So I took my sister, she's my true companion, and I took her with me and started the day off by doing my hair. I've never done my hair just for, you know, not cutting your hair, but doing my hair so that I looked nice. And then I went to a professional wig shop in Montague Gardens, and they were so caring in the sense that when you put the wigs on, they will stand in front of the mirror so that you cannot see yourself and have that initial shock. And once they are sure everything is sitting very nicely, then they will turn away and they will assist you in that. And I remember there was one point where I had a very wild wig on, because now you can just imagine the fun. You know, now you've got long hair, and now you've got curly hair, which I always wished I had. And my sister just told me at one point, you know, I don't think you should take that specific wig. And I asked her why, and she said, because you will need to get an outfit like Tina Turner has, and I know you don't have that in your wardrobe. So yeah, that was part of getting ready, getting the bandanas. And at the end, I found that they actually scratched my head, so I never used those. So that was the first part of getting the equipment, and the second part was trying to see whether anyone can find out that I'm wearing a wig. So whilst I had my hair still on, I remember one day when I went to work and I put on the wig, and my wig, actually, I chose it like that it had little hair lights in. So the highlights are actually, it looked like my own hair. So people didn't really notice that. By every few seconds, I quickly needed to go to the bathroom because I was so afraid that it shifted as I was speaking on the telephone, etc. So a dear friend of mine, dear colleague friend of mine, she asked me later on in the day, may I please ask you a personal question? And I thought now she's going to tell me that she knows I'm wearing a wig, and then this whole project would be doomed. And she asked me, do you have a bladder infection? Because you really always, you go into every 5 seconds you're in the bathroom. So then I knew, no, I'm okay with a wig. And what is interesting, Amanda, is that at the end, I didn't wear a wig. I decided not to wear that because that wasn't what made me feel comfortable. I wanted to be in my own skin. So I had to devise another plan.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear about that other plan, because I know that you actually started to help others with the plan that you made for yourself.
Yes, so that was, I think in any kind of journey of adversity, what helps me is if I'm not there only for myself, if I can serve someone or I can mean something to someone. So I started the project Just Grace, and I started to make headbands because I thought, well, if the only thing you have is the ability to accessorize, then you should absolutely, take that to the next level. You should maximize that. So I made headbands, and it was 2 kinds of headbands that you fold around your head in a specific kind of a way so that you can chop and change and you can mix and match. And then you needed to put the lipstick on, and then you had to, have the earrings in your ears so that you felt a little bit better. And by making those, I actually started producing them because everyone in the cancer unit then started to ask me, okay, where do you get those? And you couldn't get them anywhere. So I made them. And I later on employed someone to make them. And she could use the money for her livelihood. So that was a great experience. And on the other hand, I also made a pamphlet that I called I'm Too Sexy for My Hair, just to make people aware of why the hair is falling out and how should you use these headbands, and then giving them tips in that regard. Because you are quite at a loss. People say, and that's part of the vulnerability, Amanda. They say, don't worry, it's not such a big thing. It will grow back. And my answer was always, but it first needs to fall out before it can grow back. And that's the part of vulnerability that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, always when we grow, we first need to get to a place to acknowledge what we are experiencing in the moment. So thank you for emphasizing that again. You shared with me what the name of this project was. So maybe just for ending our conversation, what was the name, and what does it then the name still mean something in your life?
Yeah, so I called this project Just Grace because I think I know with all my heart that grace was an integral part of this journey. And it was interwoven in every aspect of my vulnerability and my family's vulnerability and those that loved me around me. So that was the booklet that I wrote as well was called My Cancer Journey of Grace. So the Just Grace was that softness in this whole process of having all the pain and the different treatments and seeing all those people around you in the same boat. That was the main focal point of that.
This is such a nice way to end our conversation, that we started our first conversation on the Yes to Joy slogan of Brightstar. And now we connect the joy with Just Grace. I think they definitely connect well. Shanie, if someone would like to talk to you, if they have any situation that they feel that you can inspire them, and they can connect with you, is there somewhere that they can contact you?
Yes, I really find that if you speak to someone who's been on this road, it makes it just so much easier. I had a colleague which when she spoke to me, I knew I needn't use a lot of words. She always had this saying, "This too shall pass." And I know that is a message. So if anyone wants to speak to me in that regard, I'm going to give you my email address. So that's Shanie, and you spell it SHANIE at Grow Potential, GRO without the W, growpotential.co.za.
Shanie, thank you for a very inspiring, graceful conversation. We enjoyed your personality shining through your experience. Thank you for sharing it with us. May all of us experience a bright day connected with hope and joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. You can visit us at www.brightstarlifestyle.co.za. Until we see you next time, keep on shining.